So did you stay up last night and catch that thrilling conclusion to the Vegas Golden Knights Anaheim Ducks game? Because let me tell you something, if you missed it, you missed the opportunity to see all those people who created a voodoo doll of me and have been stabbing it for years, hoping that eventually trickled its way through to the bets. You missed out on them having the time of their life, because for like the third time in a week, the Ducks have iced me with under 10 seconds left in like inexplicable fashion. Do you remember last week? I said, yeah, let's go with the under 6.5. And we found out that Mason McTavish is buried on that fourth line. And you know what we do? Anytime we see a fourth liner listed, we go under half of a point. It's 5-1, 10 seconds left. Anaheim throws a meaningless shot to the net, deflects off Mason McTavish. Ruined. Last night, I took a calculated sniff on Anaheim. It was incorrect. I can live with it, but I built in a safety net. I go, you know what? If that doesn't work out, let's go with that Nick Watt point on the other side. And if they're not scoring goals, maybe Aiden Hill's playing well. Maybe Vegas is playing good defense. Maybe the team that doesn't score much at all doesn't score much again. You know what? If that's the case, let's go double under, second line, second power play, Strome, Killorn. They're awful. They won't have the opportunities anyway. If there's one goal max, they're not getting in on it. At least if the Terry Vetrano and Zegras plays don't work out, we can come out of that game basically even. And that's what was going to happen until that donkey rat bastard, Alex Killorn, down 3-1 with 2.5 minutes left, just takes a penalty. So now the Ducks don't even have an opportunity to pull the goalie, try to draw within one. No, instead the game's just over. And then what does this dunce do? You should open that penalty box door and skate your ass right to the bench where it belongs. He fights his way into the play and then just shovels the puck up, ends up being a 2-on-1. Vetrano scores with no assist from Terry or Zegras, so none of that works out. But the Killorn assist sailed my double under bet. That was a Charles Lee Ray, Stephen King's Thinner Gypsy, all-time voodoo witch doctor bad beat. So for those of you who are stabbing that doll, congrats. It was a huge night for you. But for me and anybody else who had those Ducks plays, we took it on the chin real late night. And if you're going to say like, oh, Andy, I lost, you didn't lose more than me. Odds of random YouTube commenter placing the bets that I gave. Who do you think had more on it, me or you? So rather than putting all caps and saying, "Oh my God, I lost more than you," that's the case with Wednesday. Now let's go to Thursday, where we got some NFL, NHL sniffs. The NFL is not going to take me more than a few seconds because these are two teams I don't have a great read on. I do not have a great read on either of these teams. You know, J.Daniels, I think in 5 years will probably be nothing. That's how long it takes me to trust a quarterback. Saw him lose last week. No touchdown passes thrown. This is a tough environment to play in. Road, primetime Philadelphia. They boo Santa Claus. They'll throw ketchup bottles at you. They got Nick Bosa's brother. They got Joey Bosa all up in a frenzy. You had the Niners' wives saying they never want to go there again. Not an easy place to pull out a W. And I think that defense for Philadelphia has been getting better every single week. I thought the Eagles were going to be slightly worse this year. I thought they were going to be a playoff team, but I didn't think they'd be as good as they've kind of demonstrated. They are looking closer to the team from 2 years ago than that team from last year, which kind of turns into a disaster towards the end of the year. So I like the Eagles to win this game, but you know I will never take a -3.5. That's the, you know how 666 is associated with a certain someone in a red area of town? Well, that 3.5, as I said on a Dave and a Dan, that's the number of the rat. I will never take a 3.5. The same way I said there's no way I'm taking the Lions for 3.5. It's just that rat number where it's tied at the end. You know, it goes down, final drive, field goal, wins, it's over. And I can't live with myself knowing that I took a team at -3.5. They win by a field goal. I just can't do it. But I obviously don't think the Commanders are going to win. So what I will do, I'm going to take the Eagles at -2.5 with the under 1.5 touchdown passes for J.Daniels against the defense, who's been playing better every single week. So I will put that one in there. And then the only thing that really stands out to me, it's the same thing as last week and the week before and the week before. Last week, you didn't win. The week before, you won. and you won the alt, and you won the double alt. Week before that, you won the alt, you won the double alt, and the regular line. So I want that over 51.5 for Devonta Smith, and I'm willing to go up to 60 as well. This is the approach that's worked out for me for the majority of the year. We had a great first half of the year, and it was built on these low totals, which we were able to exploit. Maybe it will lose, but once again, I will pay to see it. So give me those overs on Devonta Smith. And then after Devonta Smith, I actually have a grand total of nothing because we're heading back to the ice to talk about pretty big Thursday night in the NHL. I'm going to start you off with something that's going to require... There's a big balls version and then the no balls version. Who are you and which do you want? We're going to be looking at those Dallas Stars again. We talked about how they're a way better team than that, 1-4 record had suggested in their last 5 before they played Pittsburgh. Tough matchups. 2 Finland games against the Panthers and then a road game against Winnipeg. Well, outside of that, they beat Chicago handily. They beat Pittsburgh handily. They allowed 1 goal in each of those games. You know where I'm going. They're a reliable defensive team with one of the top goalies in the league. They will be on their own home ice, and they're playing a team who has struggled to score consistently. You can argue it's slightly better, but I believe they had no goals through 2 periods against the Blues the other night. This is a Boston Bruins team who's struggling to score. So the no balls version of the bet that I'm about to give is the same thing that we had other night. We had Pittsburgh under 2.5 goals. We nailed that one. You want the no balls pick? It's the Boston Bruins under 2.5 goals. A team that's not been scoring in bunches against a reliable defensive team on their own home ice with a Vezina caliber goalie. Now you want the big balls one? You thought it was big with Vincent Trocheck the other night. You thought it was big with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Not getting much bigger than an under on David Pastrnak. And Pavel Zacha. Yep, no carbs tonight. We're going under on Zacha and pasta. This is like that carnivore diet. Only meat is allowed. Both of those unders is fetching you a plus 300. As you guys know, when a team is on the road, the top line has the toughest job finding good matchups because the home team has last change and they can get all the defensive assignments they want against that top line. That's obviously going to be the Pastrnak line. So I'm going with the double under on him and Zacha. Yeah, might be a little bit of a sweat. The Trocheck one was a sweat, but what's a Thursday night slate without a little sweat? You want the no sweat? Go under 2.5. May even have to sweat that one out. So if we're going to sweat, I at least want it to be a plus 300. So give me the double under for those Bruins players in Dallas. And then on the Dallas side, another great value for Logan Stankoven, who's playing on that top power play. He's up there with Heiskanen and Robertson and Hintz and Ben. Plus 110 for a player who came through for us last game with that prop. I think he's set up well to come through for us again against a Boston team. Not the easiest to score against, but I think Logan Stankoven is a very good player, and he's playing with Wyatt Johnston, Jamie Benn 5-on-5, top power play, who just cashed in on a bunch of opportunities. Good spot for Logan Stankoven at plus 110. I will take that in that game against the Bruins. And then I think I want to throw you some line combinations because we've had 3 straight winning nights of the line combinations. And obviously, I try to send those out on the Patreon about an hour, 2 hours before game time so I can be as close to accurate as possible. And it's been 3 straight winning nights. Last night was another pretty big night, and I see some great values on this slate, starting with the Blues guys. 2 straight games since they've been reunited. Pavel Buchnevich, Jordan Kyrou. Now, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, before they got reunited, they struggled a little bit. It was tough to have them by themselves. They couldn't really click much. St. Louis wasn't scoring much. The good thing about that is their prices came back down a little bit. Those 2 guys were heading up to 180, 190. But since Robert Thomas has left that lineup, it's been a struggle. They've been put back together, top line, top power play. They've come through in 2 straight games. Now they're going to Buffalo, who just gave up 5, 6, 7 goals against the Canadiens. Anytime you're going to play a scam 5 team, there's a chance for your line combo to connect. So give me the Buchnevich Kyrou point prop combo against the Buffalo Sabres. Then the other night, we cashed in on our bacon McDavid and cheese Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Now, Connor McDavid has 3 points in a game the other night. You figure his price is going to get a little bit worse the next time against the Islanders. Gets a little bit worse. He gets another 3 points. You got to assume it's going to get even worse that following game against the Nashville Predators, right? No, he's coming in at the same exact price. And if you show me a Connor McDavid who has 6 points in his last 2 games, yeah, just roll that over. You're not making the price worth. Roll that over. Give me over 1.5 points for Connor McDavid against the Nashville Predators. Later in the year, this price is going to be minus 160 for over 1.5 points. So you give me that. Give me that cheese again. If he's nailing 3 points a game, that's 2 straight games where Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has factored in on one of those goals. He factored in one against the Islanders, factored in on one against the Vancouver Canucks. He's got assists in both of those games. You know my theory, if I'm taking an over 1.5 on a guy, the odds of an assist coming from one of his wingers, I don't want to say it's very high, but it's relatively high. So I think Nugent-Hopkins assist at plus 115 is a great price. So I'll take the McDavid over 1.5, give me the Nugent-Hopkins assist for plus 115, and then put those bad boys together as well in a parlay that will probably net you over plus 300. So that's what I like there. Then I want to go to Madison Square Garden, where we're going to see the San Jose Sharks play the Rangers. Anytime the Sharks are coming into town, that's like trying to get it up for the 3 at the bar. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. You had that big game against Winnipeg. Now it's probably going to be a Jonathan Quick game. You got San Jose rolling into there. Macklin Celebrini's come back, and that's great for the Sharks. They have him playing with Toffoli, and they're actually putting Barclay Goudreau on that top line. I don't care about any of them. I want the Linds. I want the Eklund, Zetterlund, Granlund. I want that line. Because that line, they played together last year, then now they're playing together this year. They all registered point in the last game. I'm sorry, but they're way more reliable than the actual top line. And as I previously mentioned, when you're on the road, top defensive assignments are going to go to Celebrini and Toffoli, which means slightly better opportunities for that second line against the Rangers backup in a game they may not have it up for. So I'm going to take the point prop combo on Eklund and Zetterlund because Granlund does still play on that top power play with Toffoli and with Celebrini. Honestly, the Eklund point by itself is a great play. You can take that by itself and call it a night. You're in one of these weird Caribbean sports books you guys have been telling me about. I cannot put things together. All right, well then just take the Eklund point. But we go Eklund, Zetterlund, a plus money point, and a plus money point equals a plus money parlay. And then lastly, I just want to touch on Vancouver and the Islanders. The Islanders have been giving us great line combo hits with Brock Nelson and Kyle Palmieri. Game after game, they've been productive all season. Now, there's still no Barzal there, no Anthony Duclair. They have to do the heavy lifting. They've nailed this in back-to-back games, and yet their price isn't minus 170, minus 180. It's minus 125, minus 120. You put those two together, you're getting a fantastic price on two guys who have to shoulder the load offensively. They get power play time. They're on that line with Siplikov that's been productive. They're a great value. And then last game, we saw Vancouver roll out their new lines, and it worked out. And anytime you roll out a win, they usually keep the lines. Pius Suter should be pulling a plus money point like he did last time. He's on that top power play with JT Miller. JT Miller, Pius Suter, those guys together, great plus money point prop combo. A lot of point prop combos on this slate. They're on a good upswing right now. They're obviously up for the season. Let's hope it's a 4th straight winning night for the line combos and some of the sniffs. Let's get that bad voodoo doctor vibe magic at it because I'll come back to town. You go watch Stephen King's dinner. I'll come back with Montaigne and a Tommy gun. Then we'll see who's laughing with that gypsy curse. You hear me, Charles Lee Ray? You see him up? Anyway, that's what I have for you. Good luck to you.
Yeah.
Better luck to me. Do those things that make Andy happy. Like these videos. Click that thumbs up. I mean, I'm not asking you to help me move. Like you gotta lift couches and whatnot. Hit that thumbs up. Comment down below. You can tell me how I screwed you. And then also click the notifications so you know when the latest video comes out. But maybe it still doesn't work. You don't get the notification. I don't know. Notification settings are a scam in and of themselves. But click that. And obviously what would make me the most happy is if you come over to the Patreon. That's where I'll send those line combinations. You guys are the sole sponsors of this show. There's no Klondike bar advertisement around here. You guys help me do everything here. You help me bring on Dave. You help me bring on Alex to help me make this stuff. And that's all made possible by you. So if you guys like to support creators individually, that's how you can do it. You guys help build all this stuff. And as long as you continue to support, I will continue to make. I will be back to do just that tomorrow. Also look out for a Dave and a Dan because I'll be filming that. So that will be up relatively soon as well. Take it easy. I will talk to you then.